question of whether it's better to buy or rent a home comes down to a few different things. There are four questions that you need to answer before you get to that big question in order to understand what the right answer is to said big question. The first question to ask is, how long do you plan on living in that area? Generally speaking, you get good financial returns on a home that you purchase if you live there for a minimum of 5 years. Sometimes you recoup your money if you only live there for 1 or 2 years, but generally speaking, it's going to be financially smarter to rent if you plan on living at that location for less than 5 years. The second question to ask is, how much available funds do you have? Oftentimes, when you're purchasing a home, you're going to need to spend money on the down payment, on closing costs, on the inspection, on all different other types of random expenses. Whereas when you rent, you're generally only going to have to pay a deposit and the month-to-month rent. You don't have to pay for anything else. So if you have more available funds for the home, then you're going to be in a good place to buy. But if you don't have that much money available, it's probably smarter to rent. The third thing to consider is, how much available time do you have? What I mean by this is, when you purchase a home, you have to realize you're going to be spending time on remodeling, on upkeeping the home, on rearranging furniture throughout as you live there longer and longer time. Whereas when you rent, you don't have to spend nearly as much time upkeeping the overall place. Some people enjoy spending the time on remodeling, making the home that much better. And by all means, if you're one of those people, go for it. Go buy a home, have a good time. But if you don't have enough time in the future to be able to work on your home and maintaining and making it better, then it's probably smarter to rent than it is to buy. The last question to ask is, what is your current job and credit situation? A lot of people don't think about this one, but the reality is, when you purchase a home, there are a number of different things that go into you getting approved for a loan on the home. Now, if you're buying straight cash, that's a whole other story, but most people are going to need a loan of some sorts to purchase a home. The two big things, and there are a lot of different things they look at, so these aren't the only two factors, but the two big things that a mortgage company will look at is, what is your current job situation and how is your credit? The reality is, if neither of those two things look consistent, that is, if your credit's poor or you've only had a job for a certain amount of time and it's not guaranteed you'll have it for a long period of time, in general, a mortgage company is going to look at that and say, I don't know if we can really trust this person for a mortgage loan. So that alone is enough to help determine whether or not you should buy or rent, because if those two things, your job and credit, are not in a good place, then it's going to be smarter to rent than it is to buy. So again, just to recap, those four questions need to be answered in order to know whether or not it's smarter to rent or buy. You need to understand, how long will you be in the area? What are your current funds looking like? How much free time can you spend on the home? And what is your current job and credit situation?